Hey everyone, my name is Shanice and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about some of the goals that I plan for this channel and my reading across the entire year. Some of these are ambitious, so who knows if I'm actually going to accomplish them, but I think for the most part a list of goals keeps me motivated throughout the year. I am a mood reader sometimes, so I am leaving room in these goals for me to just read whatever I want. But at the same time, I like a challenge. I think it's important to try to reach out for books that maybe I don't normally. So I hope a mix of both is what I can look forward to this year. So I have, a few goals, and the first three are kind of a given every year for the past, 3 years now. So goals 1, 2, and 3 are to complete my big books challenge, my short story collections challenge, and my reading across Latin America challenge. So for the big books challenge, I pick one big novel for every month of the year, and my goal is to complete all 12 novels by the end of the year. So by the end of the year, I should at the very least have completed those 12, in addition to the 12 in my short stories collection challenge. Again, I choose one collection per month to complete by the end of the year. So with that challenge, you can say 24 books will at least be completed. And with my reading across Latin America challenge, I don't always choose 12. This year, I'm in fact going to choose just 10. 2 of those books I'm going to read across 2 months each. So 34 books altogether between these 3 different challenges that I give myself, I will at the very least complete in 2025. And then there are some series that I just really want to complete. Finally, one is A Song of Ice and Fire. So I've only read A Game of Thrones and book 2, A Clash of Kings. I think that was one of the books on my big book challenge 2 years ago, I want to say, and I really liked them. I have watched the first 2 seasons of the TV show I also really liked, but I never moved on because I wanted to read the book before the corresponding TV series, or season rather, and I read online that I think book 3 is the TV show seasons 3 and 4, and then book 4 is TV show seasons 5 and 6, and then the show doesn't rely on the books at all after that. So I'm kind of frozen in time, loving both the books and the TV show and not moving forward because I haven't completed the books. So maybe I will reread the first 2 books, but I hope throughout the year I can just get through the 5 or the 3, depending on whether or not I reread the first 2. Who knows, maybe this will be the miracle year that George R.R. Martin decides to publish the last and infamous novel in the series, One Can Only Dream. It would be quite a reward for me if he just happens to publish it this year, the year that I decide to finish this series. So please, book gods, listen to me and let this man set a release date for book 6 once and for all. Another series that I would like to finish this year is the Cromwell trilogy by Hilary Mantel. I reread Wolf Hall at the end of last year, and I've already read Bring Up the Bodies, but I would like to reread that one. And then finally get to The Mirror and the Light. I adored Wolf Hall the second time around. The first time I did enjoy it, but at parts it kind of bored me, I'm not gonna lie, but this time around I was completely entranced all the way through, and it's a testament to just how fantastic Mantel is as a writer, because Thomas Cromwell and company are not the most obviously entertaining bunch of people, but she makes them really rich, and she makes the entire atmosphere just feel real. Like you really feel like you're living in those times, and you're alongside Thomas Cromwell throughout his entire comeuppance. So I love book 1, and likewise there's a TV series adaptation. I would like to finish the series before March, so basically I have 1 month from now to do so. or a little bit over a month, but the adaptation of The Mirror and the Light comes out on PBS in the US in March. There was already an adaptation of books 1 and 2 just under the title of Wolf Hall, released a few years ago, I think. I have not seen that, but obviously I hope to see that one along with reading the entire series in preparation for the Mirror and the Light TV show. Given that I have been working from home because of a foot injury, I have just had a great time here, and I've had extra time. Like, I've never felt happier or more productive, so I've had a lot more time to read lately. I'm pretty confident about this being a reasonable goal for me to complete shortly. And then one book that I've just owned for a little too long is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I think this has been one of the books I have chosen for myself the past 2 years as a book that I must complete in X year, and clearly I never do. It's very much a possibility this time because in previous years that book was in the same group as the Broken Earth trilogy books that I wanted to complete, the Dune Messiah book that I also wanted to complete, the Forgotten Cemetery of books, the Grisafon quartet that I wanted to complete. So like, I completed those, but I never got to The Hobbit. But now that I've completed those, I can just focus on The Hobbit. So this seems like a very cute, very heartwarming and fun adventure story. It's very well known. And to be honest, I'm not that interested in checking out the film series adaptations of The Hobbit. Maybe if I have a few extra hours or days, because I know they're quite long, maybe I will, but it's not as much of a priority for me as, you know, completing the TV show Game of Thrones or Wolf Hall or the Mirror and the Light TV shows. So we'll see. I like to reread books. I don't think that's news. Last year, I think 6 of my 25 favorite books were rereads for me, and I love rereading. Whenever I finish a book and I don't like it, I don't know if it's normal, but my reaction is usually maybe I missed something, you know, maybe I'm just not in the right mindset to enjoy this now, maybe in the future I'll like it. So unless something is just obviously trash, most of the books that I finish and I don't really like, I kick off my TBR, I like check it off my list, but it almost comes back onto a shadow list where I know I will reread them in the future. And obviously books that I love or books that I really like are kind of automatically added onto the shadow list of future rereads because I enjoyed them. And a couple of books that I want to reread this year are Order of the Phoenix and 1984. I think for obvious reasons, the world is in shambles, and I've just been meaning to reread and hopefully rediscover things in both those books. I think 1984 in particular has become even more relevant now. I know Brand New World is in the same vein, and I do love that book, but I don't know. I don't have the itch to reread it just yet. Of course, if that changes at some point in the year, like, I'm not gonna stop myself from rereading it just because I didn't mention it here, but for now, right now, 1984 and Order of the Phoenix are my top 2 rereads for the year. Another goal is one that I'm not yet ready to talk about, but it is a kind of secret video idea that I have, and a book that goes along with it. It will be a reread, but I'm kind of taking a unique spin on rereading it into a secret video. It'll come probably around June or like July or something, so quite a ways away from that, but just know I will be working on that little secret project for myself, and a reread is central to said project. Another goal that is a must, because it's gotten really out of hand, I get NetGalley ARCs. I'm very lucky to. I'm sure some of you also get NetGalley ARCs. And I am behind on 34 books to be exact. Well, behind. Most of them haven't been released yet, so I'm not behind, but there have been some that I've gotten that I just don't have time to read prior to the publication date, which is kind of the entire point of reading an arc and getting it through NetGalley so you can submit your review. So I just want to tackle all of them that I have not read. It's quite embarrassing, and it's also really bad for you and your profile on NetGalley, because I think publishers do see what your percentage of books reviewed are that you have been given. And obviously if you don't review most of the books that you get, it doesn't look good for you. So I want to improve that, not just for, you know, my rating or my percentage of books reviewed, just because, I mean, I get these books because I'm interested in reading those books genuinely. It's just sometimes my reading time management is very bad. But I would like to get control over my NetGalley TBR list. Like I said, 34 titles are on there. So yeah, I need to prioritize that very much so this year. And I did mention reviews, because reviews will be part of the reading process for NetGalley. A big goal for me that so far I have been sticking by is that I would like to actually post a review on Goodreads for every book that I complete. Usually I just gave a star rating, but now I just want to be more thoughtful in how I review things. So it's not going to be like essays, but on Goodreads I'll post maybe like a paragraph of what I think. Writing the reviews, like actually doing that and publishing them, has given me a little bit more confidence to share my opinion, which is crazy given that I do this. But in addition to that, it's helped me remember the books a lot more, which will come in handy when I wrap them up on my channel, you know. So just having those to look back on, in addition to extra notes that I take for myself while I'm reading or right as I finish the book, that's all going to come in handy in creating, like I said, more thoughtful, more in-depth reviews for you guys. And in addition to just doing that on Goodreads, I've also been doing that on my Letterboxd. So, you know, announcement, if you want to follow me on Letterboxd, go right ahead. My link is down below. It would just be, you know, cool. Come, let's talk about movies there too. You can also, of course, add me on Goodreads. Alongside that goal is a goal to try to be more interactive on YouTube. Again, I've been achieving this so far this year. I've been, you know, one of those silent viewers and silent fans of different booktubers. I just never commented on other people's videos or liked them even. Like, I liked more than I've ever commented. But now I'm trying to change that, and I have been commenting and leaving genuine thoughts on people's channels. I've discovered more channels that way, and I don't know, it just seems cooler. It seems more worthwhile and less selfish than just, you know, posting a video and then just responding to comments on my own video. It's nice to meet other members of the community. Maybe meet is an exaggeration because I still don't know any of these people personally, but who knows, you know, maybe I'll make a friend or two. That would be lovely. Lots of my real life friends don't read. Actually, most of them don't. They'll read 1 or 2 books a year, which is fine, but you know, I read at least 80 a year, so it's very different. But yeah, I've been, again, just proud of myself for doing that, because I get really anxious when I have to post anything, and even videos like this. It's just, I get nervous being myself publicly. So yeah, but I'm working through it and I'm enjoying it so far. Of course, an eternal goal for me on my YouTube channel is to post more regularly, but not just more regularly. I want to bring it back to booktube good old days of maybe doing single book reviews, like in-depth book reviews. The Book Chemist does these, and he's one of my favorite booktubers. I think he's brilliant. He's concise but really intelligent, and you can always hear his personal viewpoints in his reviews. I'd like to do maybe some like that. Not, my whole channel is not going to be single book reviews, but if I just get really moved by one book, I want to make like a single video dedicated to it, or a movie or a TV show. Of course, I'm trying to improve the technical quality of these videos too. It's going to be a slow process. Some of these things cost money and take a lot of time, and once my work from home finishes, God knows how much actual time I will have. But again, let's be positive. I know I am, and I've been loving the way my new videos look a lot more than before. The different graphics, the different sound effects. I'm having a blast making them. I see an improvement, hopefully in quantity, but I think more importantly in quality and substance. So you have that to look forward to. Another goal, and a big one at it, is right now I have about 200, actually exactly 284 unread books, whether it be on my shelves behind me or other shelves in my apartment or my Kindle or on my laptop. And now that I think about it, that's not a complete number, because I'm pretty sure I have some audiobooks on Audible that I don't own physically. Like, I'm thinking about Morris. I'm pretty sure there are a couple more on my Audible that I don't actually own physically. So let's just say around 290 then, which is a great world of possibilities. But I would like to get to them at some point this year. I like to tackle a good chunk of them. So I've calculated with all the books that I've mentioned so far in this video, so the books on my 3 book challenges, the few rereads or the few series that I want to complete, The Hobbit, and some of the other books that I mentioned. With those should be around 73 books that I can tick off by the end of the year. I'm gonna add a few more and say that I hope to complete at least 80 books from my TBR. That would be amazing. If not 80, then let's just say that 73. That would be amazing. And that would also be a good mix of physical books and some of my ebooks. I don't think I've touched my Kindle in months. I am rooting for myself to get to those 80, and who knows, maybe I read more. I doubt it, because, you know, I do read a lot from my library, and often when it's a new release, I go to my library to take it out instead of spending money and like not enjoying the book and then feeling guilty about having spent at least $30 on a new publication. So I do borrow a lot from the library. It's inevitable that I'm not going to read everything from my TBR, but at least I can have a focused number of books that I intentionally will try to read. A goal I didn't mention is a book buying ban. I have 2 exceptions, which is the library books that I borrow. If I end up really enjoying a book or thinking it has a unique point of view, I will go and I will buy it just because I think it merits a spot on my bookshelf. That happened with La Cresta de Leon by Cristina Rivera Garza. I read that one a couple of weeks ago. I really liked it, and so I bought it. And that also happened with The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead, Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. Although, interestingly enough, I didn't actually really love R.F. Kuang's Yellowface, but I thought it was interesting enough that I pre-ordered the paperback, and it actually came earlier this month. So I do own it, but initially I had borrowed it from the library. Library books that I love that I then buy, those are my exceptions for the book buying ban. And my other exception is one new release that I will absolutely get. There's nothing stopping me, except death, but like I don't plan to die before like I'm 80 at least, but but like certainly not by June. So the one book that I'm absolutely gonna get this year, I'm absolutely gonna buy it with my own money right when it gets published. That is Ocean Vuong's new novel, The Empire of Gladness. I actually have no clue what it's about, and I don't care. I adore Ocean Vuong. I think he's incredible, I'm gonna read it. And I want to own it, I want to notate it, I want to highlight it. I want June to come so I can read it. So that's my absolute exception. Other new releases, like I said, plan on just borrowing them from the library. Yes, it's annoying sometimes because new releases have a lot of people wanting to read it, and so often they have wait lists, but you know, I can't complain too much. I'm getting access to a book for free, so I'll take what I can get. And like I said, I have a bunch of books behind me on my Kindle, on my computer. I don't have any room to complain. I have a lot to read. My last goal is pretty obvious and maybe seems missing from this very regimented list of goals, but my last goal is kind of always the inherent goal of reading, which is to have fun. Yes, I want to challenge myself, but even in the challenge, I want to enjoy myself. I love reading. I love it as a hobby. I love writing. I love language. It's just a huge passion of mine, and I don't ever want these goals to feel like they're barring me from reading something I actually want to read. So along with having fun, I also want to take it easy on myself. Last year I was pretty good about that, so sometimes I fell behind on my big book challenge, so I might not have finished the November book in November because, you know what, all of a sudden I wanted to reread Wolf Hall, and I did, and I ended up loving it. And then I picked back up on the big book for November in December and I finished it, you know. That's just an example, but with things like that, there's no need for me to self-flagellate over, oh, I didn't read the November book in November, I'm a failure. Like, it's fine. You too will continue, I will continue, I will not die, it'll be fine, and the book will be read at some point. You know what, if there's a week that I don't feel like reading and I just want to dance and listen to music or binge watch another season of who knows what, then I'm gonna do that. And I did do that last year too. Sometimes there would be weekends, and weekends are the time when I read the most because those are the days I'm off from work, where I would just watch like 2 or 3 movies on a Saturday just because I wanted to. I could have fit in maybe 1 or 2 more books, but I didn't feel like it. I wanted to watch 3 movies and I loved it. So yeah, just kind of try to challenge myself, try to stick to these goals and see them through, but also go with your mood and have a good time. And yeah, that is all. Those are generally the goals that I plan for my reading, a little bit for this channel, for Goodreads, for Letterboxd if you want to follow, don't forget. And yeah, I'm feeling really positive. That has a lot to do with the fact that I am not in New York City. I can work from home, be in peace. But I'm going to try to continue this positivity throughout the year. And cheers to all of you. Let's hope for a wonderful reading year, an exciting one filled with new discoveries. And thank you so much for watching again. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all next time. Bye.